Yo, 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 yo. Yes, sir. What is good, everybody? What is good, everybody? What is good? Had to come on here midday on a Monday. Midday on a Monday. Yes. Yes. Hold on one second. Let me get my stuff together here. What is good? What is good? Antoine, what's good, Ant? What's good? The real Trevor Blaze. Steffern's hairline. Okay. Patty P. Bad Beat Man. Killer Cuts. Antonio Lyles, what's good, man? Yeah, I'm on here early. Tim Murkison, what's good? Man, I'm good, player. I'm good. I am good. How y'all doing today? You make this seem like Tuesday. Yes, everybody that's on here right now, go ahead and hit that like button for me. Hit that thumbs up button for me, please. What's good, Mike Fresh, Randy Swag, Frisco Pisco, what's good? Oh, you got to be a Frisco fan. 49ers fan is in the building. Gary Smith, Chris Ramming, what's good? Cold Heat, what's good? Everybody in the congregation, what's good? A Major, Heavy Duty Beats, what's good? Y'all go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button for me real quick so we can go ahead and get it bracing for the hurricane. You down there in Florida? Yeah, Frisco. Oh man. We got a Frisco guy in here. What's good? Parker Jones, Gary Smith. Hey, I feel you on that, Randy Swag. They got some good videos out lately. Really good videos out. Yes, they do. Y'all go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me, please. Hit them like button. Everybody that's on here, if you're on here, please go ahead and hit that like button for me so we can get a few more people on here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hear what you're saying, M. Keys. What's good? Mari Astro, what's good? Gary Smith, Black Knight, Jason Taylor, yeah. What is good? Everybody that's on here, please hit that like button so we can get a few more people on here. And, yeah, we're going to do our thing today. We're going to talk about these converters or mixing. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Since it's a very sensitive subject to some of y'all, but, you know, to us it's not that sensitive. You know what I'm saying? But it is a sensitive subject. And people have been debating it. Some people have been asking me about it. You know what I'm saying? Some people ask me, like, should you get the MPC or the machine or this, that, whatever. You know, we're going to see. Okay, Frisco, go ahead and send that thing in. Yeah, go ahead and hit that like sub. I don't care if you hit the like button up or down. I really do not care. Thank you. Oh, you know, I'm actually going to Italy. I've been to Italy one time. I've been to Rome, but I was just kind of flying in. We had a layover. It seemed pretty cool. Is there black people out there? I'm pretty sure it is. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that, A Major. So basically, like, a lot of us have been on this journey with trying to get better mixes and a better sound. Okay? And I think there's been some people that understand what's kind of going on, and there's some people that do not understand what is going on. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Gary Smith, I did see Ebro's post. Yes, I did. But that has, let's clear that up real quick before we get to this converter thing. Yes, I seen Ebro's post about, you know, record labels not wanting hip hop artists and stuff like that. Yeah, they always gonna want anything that's gonna sell. So I'm not really thinking about that. one thing I can say is this has already been predicted years ago. Okay. It's already been predicted years ago. I forgot the guy. Jeez, he's one of the main guys that founded 300. Now he's really over at YouTube now. I think he's still here. And he was on the Breakfast Club, and he actually mentioned about Afro beats and everything years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been something that's already been going on. Record companies are trying to look for whatever is going to sell. So it doesn't matter what it is. So these couple months it might be this, next couple months it might be whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just that at that time hip hop was doing so good in the numbers. Now it's kind of fading off a little bit, which that's how it goes. Everything is like a roller coaster ride. That's just how it is. It was like that in the 90s. Hip hop was so big in the 90s along with grunge and everything like that. But how many grunge bands do you see? But will it come back? It'll come back at some point. You know, that's just how it is. But Leor. Thank you. Leor Cohen, thank you. He actually predicted that a long time ago. You know, he said it. This is not new news for a lot of people in the industry. Because they've been talking about, you know, doing beats like that for a while. And then right now, even in Jamaica, the rhythm beats and stuff like that, like, you know, they're very heavily on that right now. And sometimes you need a little change. You need to switch up. So it's all good. But, you know, hip-hop ain't going nowhere. You're right, Mr. Bond. But like we were talking before, let's get back on the subject. These converters. I think some people kind of understood what is going on, but I think some people don't understand what is really going on with that. Like some people don't really even understand what, you know, the whole thing with converters are and what they do. And some people are just talking. Some people are just talking and just saying stuff because some people have never really been in a real studio setting where you had to really, you know, apply that in a sense. And converters are very important. Okay. They're very important. And, you know, you're going to have it, especially if you're, you know, doing certain sessions that require that type of sound. Now, the thing about it is, you're going to have good converters and you're still going to have good mixing. That's the flip side about it. You know, you're still going to have good mixing either way. You can have the best converters in the world, but if you don't know how to mix, it's going to sound like trash. I'm going to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, which one would you guys need? And like I say all the time, I feel you laid back sounds. I feel you on that. Like I say all the time, you got to know where your budget is first. This is a big thing. It's budget. And I think a lot of you guys don't understand that if your budget does not allow you to get the things that you have to look at your weaknesses. So if your budget is your weakness, then you have to understand that you have to play into that weakness more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have the budget to get you the best converters, you need to go ahead and learn how to mix the best you can. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people think that million the track, I feel you on that. A lot of people think that you have to have, you know, $1 million studio. You got to have, you know, the best outboard gear and all that stuff. If you know what you're doing, if you know that sound, it will enhance your sound. But like I've said before, you can mess it up as well. Easily mess it up by over compressing, over EQing, stuff like that. A lot of times when you're using outboard stuff, most of the times you're dealing with, you know, a bunch of ins and a bunch of outs. And those in and outs have to be translated well. So it's not just the beat machine. You have to have something that's going to translate when you run into a certain EQ. That input's got to be good and that output's got to be good. Okay? Do I think there should be a little gatekeeping on quality so the music doesn't lose integrity? Of course. It definitely needs that. And that's what most of the people are doing. What's good, Ayo Sean? I think that's what most of the people are doing right now, especially a lot of the older guys. And I got to say this for everybody. Rapping and stuff is a young man's sport, so they say. Music is pretty much a young person's sport. Throughout the board, like all the way across the board is a young person's sport. But we have to understand that old people still run this game. All the way from the executive side, all the way down to mixing, all the way down to mastering, all that stuff. Producing too. You know what I'm saying? Some of your favorite producers are in their 30s and about to be 40. You know what I'm saying? Some of your favorite artists are in their 30s, about to be 40 or already 40. So it's the longevity of the situation that gets you better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like how, even with Drake and 40 and, with the whole OVO sound, they try to make sure that they have the best sound possible and they spend their money on their sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, even all of the older producers here in Atlanta, they still try to make sure that the sound is still that sound. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times, what's good, Paul? Paul Smith, what's good? What's good? Hey, Magnificent, thank you so much for that donation to the collection plate. Thank you so much. Thank you. But I think a lot of times, people are so much in a rush to get these records out. Like my homeboy right now, I did a record. It's been about 3-4 weeks, and he's just been rushing me. Like, we got to put it out. We got to put it out. We got to put it out. And I'm like, no. I'm not going to put it out yet because it doesn't sound the way I want it to sound yet, so far as production-wise, so far as mixing-wise. And I want to get everything straightened out before I go ahead and get the song mastered. And I think right now, it's so much of a rush to get stuff done that we fail to understand that quality really, you know what I'm saying? Quality really matters. It really matters. That's why we take so much time. It takes so much time, to get this stuff down. Yeah, I know about Sterling Sounds. That's where it's to get a lot of stuff mastered at too. Sterling was one of the places where a lot of people learned to master up in New York. They used to do a lot of interns. A lot of master engineers came from Sterling. Sure it did. My guy Alex, he's a great master engineer over there in Brooklyn. He came from over there, Sterling. But it all starts from the creation of music. Like, we have to have converters even to capture these microphones. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, this microphone right here. This is the LS, what's this, the 209, 207? I keep forgetting which one it is. This is the Latin Audio. LS 209, I think, or 207. Great mic. But I got it going into my Apollo X4. And then I got my Apollo X6 hooked up, so if I need some other inputs and stuff like that, I can do that as well. You know what I'm saying? And, okay, Intricate Incorporated. Okay, man, what's good? And I want to make sure I have the best quality on here. You know what I'm saying? So I try to run everything through to where I can have the best quality, even on the live streams and stuff like that. I try to have the best quality as possible. But like even the studio, mics have to have great conversion, because without good conversion, then you're going to have to be doing a lot of work on the back end. And even if you have good conversion, depending on how the song is, you're still going to have to do some work. But usually if you have good conversion all the way around, you have less of a problem to deal with. It makes things much easier to deal with. You know what I'm saying? How do I like the sound of Tascam 16? Love it. Love it. I was playing beats the other day in Tampa, and SIGNUP was over there. He was down there, he was down in Tampa doing some work down there in Tampa. And we was at my guy's studio, and we was playing the beats. And first thing he was like, yeah, I can hear it. Like that Tascam, like I can hear it. You've been running that stuff through that Tascam on that EQ. He could hear it. I love the Tascam. Sounds good. Is it the best? Nah, but it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? I like the Tascam stuff. But some people saying, what about the MPC? Bolo, do you have any new converters on your MPC? No, I don't. I think the MPC sound good. To some people, they would want a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Some people want a little bit more, and that was the case with EA Ski. He wanted a little bit more, and I understand where he's coming from. Me, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. Like, I know how to use my MPCs. I know how to mix. So what I do is I just run it through. I make sure I get good volumes and everything, and I go from there, because pretty much how it sounds when I have it coming out is sounding good. Do you have to have the best converters in the world? No, but we all still know that the MPCs right now have pretty much the best sound when, exporting. Even with the converters that they have in there now, they still have some of the best sound. Now, if you want to take it a step further and maybe get you like an RME USB interface or something like that, or something that you can do like an output on there, like a volt or something like that, you can still do that as well. That sounds pretty good. But if you have a USB output or a USB-C output that can go into that, and then that MPC can read it, you can use those converters inside of those interfaces. The old Apogee, the Duet for conversion sounds great. It's a lot of stuff that sounds great. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand is, what can you afford? And one thing that everybody can afford is an ear for good mixing, regardless if it is with good converters or without good converters, because if you know how to mix, you'll know what certain things need to sound like. So a lot of people ask me, like, so what's more important? Is it converters or is it better mixing? And a lot of times what I say is a mixture of both. But if you do not have the good converters, then you need to get better at mixing. You know what I'm saying? That's just as simple as possible. Now, if you do have the good converters and you're not that good at mixing, the best thing you need to do is don't mess with it. A lot of y'all like to get in here and y'all like to mess with stuff too much just because you have it. A lot of times when you have good equipment, it is only supposed to be used very minimal. You're not supposed to be doing big EQ curves and stuff like that. When you have that type of equipment, it is supposed to be used very minimal. That's why some people, when they say, well, I bought this EQ, man, but it's just not doing what it's supposed to do, because you're overdoing it. And then a lot of this outboard gear and stuff like that, you're dealing with saturation. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it plenty of times. Well, I'll take somebody's mix and there's some guys who got some really a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff in my studio, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of stuff. And they wonder why the mixes are too flat, or they're just too bright or whatever. And a lot of times I'll be like, hold on, bro, let me see something real quick. And I'll go in there and I'm like, I got to see how it's routed first, because a lot of times people route things different. I'll go in there and I'll go through it. Yeah, Champ Flexington, what's good, baby? I got to flex every time you come on. Put 100% reverb on the master always. That's right. I used to do that as well. I used to put reverb on my master a long time ago. Never again. But but I used to go in people's studios, and these guys that had mixing boards and stuff like that and be having everything routed through the boards. And a lot of times I would just barely turn stuff up, barely compress some, or turn the compressors off. And then they'll be like, yo, it sounds a lot better. Yeah, because I didn't do anything. A lot of times, if you have your stuff ran through the right way at the right levels to where, the noise floor is not getting in the way, you don't have to do much, especially if you pick the right sounds. You know what I'm saying? How do I feel about AI mastering? I'm kind of on the fence with that, because I'm a Landar type of a guy. So I've seen Landar come a long way. So I'm kind of on the fence of that, but I think that, that online mastering is getting better, but I still think a human element needs to be involved. But if you're somebody who doesn't know how to master, and you want to get better masters for your songs, AI mastering has came a long way. You could use something like Landar. I think there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you kind of know how to use a limiter and some EQ and some compression and stuff like that, and, then yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? The isotope stuff is really good, so it's a lot of stuff. But going back to what I said, yeah, Landar is AI. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the Landar stuff. But what I was going back to what I was saying, you don't have to do too much if you just pick the right sounds. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like, okay, going back, Ahmed, my Armed Mind just asked the information about the life cycle of Beatmaker 3 is a good alternative on iOS. Yes, Beatmaker 3 has been around for a while. Once you got it, you got it. You're good. Like with Beatmaker 3, when you export out of that, it don't sound nowhere near like how it's supposed to sound. So you have to know how to mix when you put into another program. And the conversion rate out of that, for some reason, out of them iPads, is just not that good. But at the end of the day, like you can still make those Beatmaker 3 sounds very good. You know what I mean? The beats, you can make them sound very good if you know how to mix. And if you do have something to run that stuff through, you can run it through too. Like what I do a lot of times is with Beatmaker 3, I'll put clicks in front of each track and I'll run everything as on long track, and then I'll cut everything by the clicks. But I'll run it through like my compressors, I'll run it through my little EQ, my little mixer, just kind of give it something. Then I'll run it through, and it makes a world of a difference. And people won't even notice that I made it on Beatmaker 3 like that. So it's good to have stuff to run your sounds through, as long as you have something good. Like, you get you a Heritage EQ, you can get you a Warm Audio EQ, you can get a lot of stuff to make your sound better. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make sure that you have good converters. That's why they make converters. Because you want to have the best sound as possible. You want to have the best replication of the sound as possible. So that's why I say, like, it's always good to understand how your gear works, what has the best conversion, what has the best saturation, stuff like that. Because some of this stuff sounds good, and, it might color your sound a little bit. And you're dealing with conversion, you want to have something that's giving you the most accurate representation of your sound. Some of you guys can hear it, some of you guys cannot hear it. There's some things I can't hear. Some people play me stuff back, I don't hear the difference. Like, you don't hear that? I'm like, I don't hear it. I don't hear it. It's got to be drastic with me, but it's certain things that just give you a better feel. You know what I'm saying? Like a Tascam. Like, I ran a lot of stuff through my Tascam, like my kicks, my snares, my bass, my claps, my hi-hats. I'll put them on different channels and send them things back to the MPC. Man, that thing is great. You know what I'm saying? It sounds great. But yeah, some people are having this super duper issue with, oh, you don't need converters, you don't need this, need that. Yeah, you do. Everything has to have converters in it for us to hear it, number one. But some converters are better than others, and that extra 5%, that extra 3% makes a difference. It makes a difference. And you can hear the difference between some of the older tracks and some of the newer tracks. And some of the older tracks you can't hear a difference because you got to think back in the day. It was a lot of records made, strictly on tape. And some of them records don't sound better than records now because, how we mix this stuff now, you know what I'm saying, and how our ears are adapted to the mixing right now. And we've gotten better stuff. We've gotten better gear because now, instead of us worrying about flying a hook, taking a day to fly a hook or chopping up, tape just to fly certain parts, we can use that time now to just, work on our beats or work on our tracks and get our track sound the best we can. You know what I'm saying? You had too much noise in the Tascam. I don't know how you had all that noise. My Tascam sounded good. That was my interface for my MPC, and I was routing sounds all through that Tascam. It sounded really good to me. I had some really good mixes. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Beatmaker 3 does sound very thin. I don't know what happens with that. It's kind of weird to me with that, but it is what it is. But yeah, some people are saying, if some guys like, man, why is ESG tripping about it? Converters? Because a lot of you guys, a lot of those guys, they're not saying you particular, but a lot of those guys have never been in situations where you've been in like real studios and you can like really hear the difference. Or you've been in a session with another producer who has like outboard gear and they play their beats in the studio. And you're like, why is my stuff sounding a little thin? Why it don't sound the way, I heard it? Or like sometimes if you make beats and you're making it on your MP or whatever, and you route it into your interface, and then you play it back, it sounds like it's not the same. It sounds like it's a little thinner. It doesn't sound as big and bold as it used to. That's because of the conversion of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you. The output of something has to have a good converter, and that input has to have a good converter as well. And when you're playing this stuff back, even the conversion rate that you're hearing it back has to be very good. So that's why they make these conversion boxes, and they try to do as best as they can. The Apogee stuff sounds really good. The RME stuff sounds really good. Of course, you know, I use Universal Audio. That stuff sounds very good. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, all that stuff just sounds really good. And it's a few, like even the Focusrite stuff sounds good. Even when you input your stuff to the Focusrite stuff, it sounds very good. Even the low-end Focusrite stuff sounds very good. It's just the outputs on the Focusrite stuff that I don't like. The outputs on that is not good. It's not that good. And the Audient ID4 sounds really good. I have the ID4 as well. I have the third generation of that. Sounds really good. It's the second or third. The latest one, I got that one. Of course, all the Neve stuff sounds good. 500 series stuff sounds really good. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with stuff like that, you're dealing with saturation and stuff like that. Even when you're running it through, you know, even when you're using those EQs, you're still dealing with this type of saturation. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, outboard gear is always very good to have. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all go ahead and hit that like button for me. If y'all on here, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button for me. Hit that like. If you're on here, please go ahead and hit that like button for me really quick. You know what I'm saying? It'll be really cool if you guys can go ahead and do that. When does the new MPC Live Mini come? I have no idea. I don't get insights like that anymore. I don't know. You know, unless I have to hit them up, I don't really get too many insights. But they got a lot of stuff coming out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the SSL 2 Plus, SSL, all the SSL stuff sounds good. You know what I'm saying? All the SSL stuff sounds very good. And like, you got to think these interfaces now, even these cheaper interfaces now, sound much better. You know what I'm saying? These cheaper interfaces sound much better than what they sounded even 15, 20 years ago. They sound very good. They sound like some of the high-end stuff back then. So it's getting better and better and better and better and better. But are they the high-end stuff? And no, you know, that's why you have, you know what I'm saying, these, you know, these A to D and D to A, you know, machines out here that sound really, really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Focusrite made a lot of that stuff, man. Focusrite made a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Apollo X6, man, look cool. Oh, okay, you got you a nice little setup there. But, you know, for all the people who keep asking, like, what do you need? It's a combination of both. If you can have both, you can have both. But like I said before, it's all about what your budget's like. And what are you really trying to do this for? Are you trying to really put out records, or are you just doing this for fun? If you're just doing this for fun, I don't see why you would want to spend that much money on it, unless you're just a gearhead. But if you're really serious about putting out songs and trying to get the best quality, then yes, you want to try to get the best conversion that you can get, period. You know what I'm saying? So if you're just at the house, you just want to make some beats just for yourself or just for your friends, just go ahead and get you a laptop, get you a little, get you a Focusrite, you know what I'm saying, interface, get you an MPC, or, you know, just use like Logic or, you know, FL, Studio One, Ableton, you know, whatever you want to use, and just do that. You know, you could just do that, and you could be perfectly fine with doing that. And some people don't understand that, you know, if you're not really trying to go that route in music, don't overspend on stuff like that. You don't have to overspend on stuff like that, especially if you're just doing this for fun. But if you're really serious about it and you're trying to get the best sound, you know, in what you're trying to do, then you're going to have to spend a few racks. Got to spend some rackades on that. You know what I'm saying? You got to spend some rackades. And it's really only adding 2, 3, 4, maybe 5% to your sound. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. It's not adding that much. but you can hear the difference. You can feel the difference. Like I remember I used to make beats and I used to run them through my inbox, and then I used to play albums from back in the day that used to be ran through, like certain, ran through like all the big studio converters and stuff like that. The one thing I always noticed the whole time was that low end. Low end was so full and so 3D and stuff like that. It was huge. And I used to be like, man, how did they do that? And I used to go to the studio. I'm like, what is going on? And even from the beginning process, from the MPs all the way to capturing the MPs and capturing the synthesizers, they were capturing it great. And then even from the mastering engineer, how they, with the converters and stuff they were using, and it was just it was just big. It was so big. The sound of it was so big, and I wanted that sound so bad. That was like the biggest thing for me, was trying to get that sound, and that's what I wanted. And I think a lot of times when we try to, I think a lot of times when we try to strive for that sound, we try to overcompensate on mixing because we thinking, oh well, I got this plug-in, it's gonna make it sound better. Plug-ins can make certain things sound better. I've heard some really, 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 really good beats just made strictly off of plug-ins, but a lot of times it comes from just using really good drums and using really good sounds, and knowing how to, mix a little bit. Oh, Black Av, come on, man. Black Av, don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me, man. Make sure you use my link next time for Zounds, okay? Make sure you use my link next time. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and, get some stuff from Zounds.com through me, y'all. If y'all need some stuff like right now, go get it from me. Link in the description. But yes, converters are very important for what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to match that analog sound, if you're trying to match, the sound that you hear on the radio, it takes a lot to get that. And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel you, 365 OTG. Yeah. We seen that video. Yeah. You can make good stuff right on your laptop or whatever if you just get the right sounds or whatever, but you got to have a good listening environment. Like I try to tell people a lot of times too, even just these new M1 Max, these M1 and M2 Max, the headphone out on here is exceptional. They really spend a lot of time on getting the headphone out on these Macs. Exceptional. You know what I'm saying? Great. They can push any headphones. I don't care if you have 200 ohms, 250 ohms, 300 ohms, they can push them and they sound very good. The mic on here sounds very good. They took their time to really try to really up the audio on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised Apple ain't came out their own interface yet. You know what I'm saying? I might be interested in that. If they came out with their own like audio interface, that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about it. You never know what company's gonna come up with something next. There's a lot of great stuff out here that you guys can get that won't hurt the bank. And that's the biggest thing, is staying ahead of paying so much. Because I know a lot of you guys are like, man, I don't want to spend all that money on, spending $4,000 or $5,000 on some piece of equipment I'm not really going to sell. I get it. But if you're out here and you're a musician, you're trying to do the best you can, you know what I'm saying, you might want to go ahead and get it, because you'll hear the difference immediately. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear the difference immediately. So, yeah, converters are great. Both sides of it, they're great. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I just threw that out there, y'all. I just threw that out there. I'm not trying to imply anything or whatever. I'm just throwing ideas out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there. No conspiracy theories right now, y'all. Let's not do that. But yeah, there's some great interfaces out there. I would say, RME is up there. Apogee is up there. Universal Audio stuff is up there. Then they have some good A to D converters, you know what I'm saying, that you can use, as well. The main thing, a lot of this stuff is clocking. You have to make sure with the clocking is very good. What's wrong with the Focusrite outs? They're not very crisp. They're not really defined as like my UAD stuff. Like you can hear certain things, and you can hear like a stereo width. You can hear certain things in that, like in my UAD stuff. I can't hear in my Focusrite. The outputs are not that good on the Focusrite. Like the like the consumer end, like the everything that's under like $500-600. The outputs are not as good. You know what I'm saying? The SP404 is the best sample on the market today. Hey, I never used it, so I really don't know. Well, I've used it before, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely. You know, if you can get you something that can make things sound better, get it. You know what I'm saying? Get it. Get it. But don't think that you can't get a professional sound with just everything that you're using on your laptop. You know what I'm saying? Like yesterday, I reposted Ant Dizzle's studio setup. He has a laptop, a nice keyboard, 2 Yamaha speakers, beautiful desk. Everything looked good, and you can hear his beats sound great. You know what I'm saying? They sound great because you're doing everything inside the computer. You know what I'm saying? You can get that good sound because it's not really leaving anything. You know, it's staying inside the computer, but it's just something about that computer sound. It just doesn't give me that fullness. The snares don't sound the way they need to sound. You know what I'm saying? They don't sound the way they need to sound. Like when I play my MP, the snares sound totally different. They sound full. They sound fat. They sound big. They sound like everything is ready to go immediately, and I don't have to do anything. Like if there's a certain kick and I know that kick needs to sound better, I run that thing through the MP and it just sounds good. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you have to look at when it comes to stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? It's way more than just getting a good program and getting some sounds. You know what I'm saying? And like even Ski was saying, like even some of y'all, like the power of the MP comes when you sample stuff in because you want to hit the converters going into the MP. That's the power of everything, not just of it coming out. But that's for a whole other subject. That's for a whole nother subject. So on one hand, yes, you need better converters. On the other hand, you need good mixing. Some of y'all think just having good converters is good, which it is if you don't touch it. Some of y'all try to over-touch it. Stop over-touching your music. Even when you don't have converters, stop over-touching your music. Stop trying to compress everything. Stop trying to EQ everything. You don't have to do all of that. Some of y'all just want to just use the stuff y'all bought. I bought thousands and thousands of dollars worth of plugins, and I don't use maybe 10%. I maybe use 10% of them. But I do have the other plugins there just in case I may need them. But you don't have to use, all your EQs. You know what I'm saying? Like I bought a whole bunch of stuff from Universal Audio over the years, and I probably use maybe 2 or 3 things from Universal Audio. That's it. I don't use much. But when I do need to use the VOG, I use it. When I got to use the Shadow Hills Mastering Compressor, I use it. Whether it's on UAD or whether it's on Plugin Alliance, I use it. If I got to use the SSL, I use it. Whether it's on Waves, whether it's on UAD stuff, whether it's on Plugin Alliance, whether it's web, I use it. Whether it's the SSL stuff, I use it. We want a video of the Tascam Model 12. I'm not doing a video on that because there's already 2 great videos out on that, but it's already a very, very, very good video that Malo Beats did for the Tascam. He did it way better than I would have did it. You can go to his page, MALO Beats. He did one on the Tascam a couple months ago. Great video. Everything that I was pretty much going to say he did, and he did it better. So you need to check his video out. He did a great video on that. Great video. But yes, mixing, very important. And a lot of times is when you have the great sounds and you have a great mic, you have great inputs, you don't have to do much. Logic stock plugins are great. The FL Studio stock plugins are great. All these stock plugins are great because you know why? A lot of them use the same basic code. It's a few things that may switch up, but they all use pretty much the same basic code. You know what I'm saying? So that's why all the stuff pretty much sounds the same. It's a little changes here and there when you break those knobs in on there. It's a few zeros and ones that move a little bit different, but it just is what it is. But learn how to mix still too. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to mix. Oh, Reason plugins are good. Yeah. Do Behringer converters sound good? I don't. Only thing I use really Behringer for is for like their patch bays and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. Pro Tools stock plugins, and man, oh shoot, boy, you don't know how to use them things. I've done whole mixes on Pro Tools stock plugins. They sound great. They sound great. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it with a lot of these plugins, they all sound the same. Just you might have to push, you might have to push a dB up, maybe an extra dB or a dB down, or you might have to cut a little bit more. They all are kind of calibrated a little bit different, but they all sound good. But your mixing is something that I think everybody should strive for better mixing. I think that everybody should try to get better with mixing. There's a ton of tutorials out. There's a ton of free tutorials out. It's a lot of stuff that you can learn by just trying to get, better mixing. You know what I'm saying? But I like to just have stuff sounding a certain way immediately. Like if I'm making a beat on my MP, I want to be able to just route that thing into the computer and I ain't really got to touch nothing. Which I don't. When I make beats on my MP, I just pick the sounds I like and I don't really touch nothing. A lot of you guys have seen me on live making beats and I do not touch anything because there's no need for it. Why would you touch something that already sounds good? Like a lot of these sounds are already pre-mixed. You know what I'm saying? Some might have a little low end on them, but you just cut the low end out and that's it. You're picking sounds more than correcting sounds. You don't want to be correcting sounds. That's why a lot of times when I get people to come into the studio, even though I got all the stuff that sounds good, I still make them go and do a mic test. I make sure I set my compressor and stuff because it's going to be set different every time. I just tell other people when they come to my studio, don't touch my shit because people be messing stuff up. But I tell people a lot of times, set your compressors and stuff up, set your preamps and stuff up right so you can get the best sound as possible going in. So you don't have to do too much later on. Because some people are like, man, why your mixer sound different than mine? Because I have it going in sounding good. I have a little compression on the vocals. You know what I'm saying? I got a good mic going through. The beat sounds good. I don't have to do too much. I can really just put a compressor EQ and a DSO on that stuff and I'll be fine. And that's what people don't understand. That's what makes it much faster when you can do things like that. It makes it much faster. A lot of people don't know how to work a compressor. They don't. And for real, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first started doing music, it took me like 3 years to figure out how a compressor works and why, a ratio and, what I'm saying, a threshold, a knee, you know what I'm saying? A release, all that stuff. I was like, what does that mean? So I would just mess with certain stuff and I'd be like, oh, this is what this does. Oh, this is what this does. Like, with a release. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know how to use a release until I started putting a compressor on basses and I started hearing what the release does. I never really heard a release on vocals that much. I didn't know what the attack was until I started putting it on basses. Till I found out I don't need to put no compressor on no bass like that. Unless I'm doing it for side chaining, which I don't really like the side chain, but sometimes I do side chain every once in a while. But compressors, come on, King DJ, ain't that bad. Compressors are not that complicated. You know what I'm saying? Once you know how a signal is supposed to be treated inside a compressor, it's not that complicated. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Intricate Incorporated. Learning the why is more important than the how. You know what I'm saying? That is correct. Why am I using this EQ? Why am I using this compressor? Ask yourself that question first. Rather than, I just slap this EQ on here and, how to use it on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, learn ADSR, yes, that helps out a lot too. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times, we kind of get in our own way. You don't have to get in your own way when it comes to your own songs because at the end of the day, you're picking the sounds. That's why I tell people right now, before we even talk about conversion, before we talk about mixing, it's about picking the best sounds. Thank you, Derived Doom. Thank you so much for that donation to the collection plate. Yes, it's important that it sounds cool. Don't get confused by the knobs. That is correct. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, compression is definitely a clutch. You know what I'm saying? Like, things can sound good with just good EQ. And if you have a good vocalist that knows how to control their voice, that's good. If you got a good sounding song, you don't have to even compress it. I got tons of songs that I barely even use any compression. You're like, some songs I barely even use any compression. People are like, what compressor you use? Nothing, really. I like to use compression going in, but no more than maybe a gain reduction of -3 at the most. A lot of times when I run my vocals through, I run it through like my compressors and stuff like that, or my preamps, which I like preamp and compressor combinations a lot. Like, you know, I have my Avalon 737 over here, and I have the UAD, what is it, the MK2 over there. It's the preamp compressor over there at my other spot. And I like to have compression, and I like to have, you know, I like to feel that with the mic going in, and it just does something to the mic. I like, even with that T-Move mic I had, I put it on that compressor at the studio, and it sounded great. I think a lot of times with a lot of these mics, they sound really good and enhances those mics when you have it going through a good preamp compression combination and then running that through a good solid converter, you know, going into a good interface. You know what I'm saying? Gain staging is very important. You got the best compressors in the world, but if that gain staging ain't right, you're gonna have all type of signal noise coming through there. You know what I'm saying? Noise floor stuff coming through there. So you got to know about why certain things work, even with plugins. Another thing people don't understand, even with plugins, most of these plugins, they come with a book and they tell you what is the optimal level to use these plugins on to get the best sound. They'll tell you, like, hey, we need you to be around here, and this is going to give you the best sound for this plugin. Like, literally, they'll tell you. And some of y'all be like, the plugin don't sound right, because you're not even using it right. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep my plugins where they need to be, and then if the signal's too loud, I try to use certain plugins to smooth it out or whatever. But you know, it goes a long way knowing what you are using and why you're using it. So yeah, you can have all the best converters in the world and all the best gear, but even if you making your passes so low to where that noise floor is catching up when you hit the compressor, you can't do nothing. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. You need that 500 series SSG compressor. You need to find layaway. I don't know. You might can use my link. You might can use my link to Zounds. I don't know. I got to see if they got it on there. I'm actually going to get some more outboard gear to run my stuff through. You know what I'm saying? What computer do you use? I use the M1 13-inch. Got it fully maxed out. Love this thing. And not even thinking about getting the M2 yet. Yeah, I made a dope beat on Logic today too. Love Logic. But you gotta know what's going on. Sean Devine is he's like one of the top tier on YouTube, man. He always makes great videos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bad gain staging is not good. It's not good at all. You just gotta know what you're doing. You definitely gotta know what you're doing. You know? Knowing is half the battle, G.I. Joe. But yeah, so that's my thing on it. That's my take on it. Because a lot of people keep asking, what do you think is better, converters or better mixing? You don't even need converters, this, that, whatever. No, you don't need converters. You're just going to be sitting there trying to figure out how the bass is going to sound as good as somebody else's bass because it's not sounding as good as it can. But so far as like MPs, do I necessarily think you need to have the top tier converters on there? Yeah. Because that's what they are. They're supposed to be the flagship. Now, if you're like a machine person, nah. Like Machine was never made. When they first started out, they were not out. They weren't standalone gear. They were computer stuff. So they just made something that was standalone. So I'm not putting Machine on that level. But so far as MPC, of course, I think they should always try to give us the best product as possible. But does it sound bad now? Nah, no way. There's no other machine out there that sounds good as the MPC. The new MPCs, old MPCs, none of those machines sound better than the new MPC. You know what I'm saying? The new MPCs sound great. Can they sound better? Yeah. Should they sell us a package that maybe we can get better converters? Of course. Which I think that Akai, they listen to everything we say. They listen to all of us. And I think they're going to make changes. I really think they do. I think this was a good learning lesson. Because they're already doing a lot of stuff already. Dan Calloway, what's good? Okay. Hey, Dane, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit me up on my IG. Hit me up on DM. I'm gonna hit you on IG. That'll be better right there. And I'll send you some stuff over. Yes, sir. I'm gonna talk to M16 and C-Note about you too. Where's the old X? I got it inside of my analog case. If you guys need some analog cases, go ahead and hit that link in the description. I have it over there in my storage room right now inside one of my analog cases right now. Which if you guys need some cases, go ahead and click that link in the description. My link, analog cases. And if you guys need some equipment, go ahead and click that link in the subscription and go to Zounds.com if you guys need some equipment right now today. If you need some equipment, go to Zounds. They have a whole bunch of stuff on the site that you can get with no credit or background check. So that means you can order it right now. You can order it right now. They'll ship it to you in like 2 to 3 days, depending on how the shipping carrier works. And you can just pay it off over time. 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. Just need a credit or debit card hooked up to the account and you're good. You are good. You can get some equipment right now. Right now. Do you bring guitar players or do you play guitar? I can play guitar very, very, very badly. I know how to play a few chords and stuff in guitar, but I usually get my guys who play guitar if I need it. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and use my Zounds.com link. For real, for real. Y'all make sure y'all do that. My Zounds link points to cases. Huh? No, it doesn't. It says, oops, my God, my goodness. It sure does. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I put the wrong thing on here. Sure did. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix this right here. I made a boo-boo. Uh-oh. I messed up. I actually did this before the thing. I messed up. Thank you for noticing that. Hold on. Ooh, man. That's what I get for trying to rush on here. Hold on. I gotta switch the whole thing up now. Hold on, y'all. I can't believe I did that. Hold on. Yeah, oops. Thank you for noticing that, man. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how the hell I did that. All right, here. Let me click on that. Let me get this in here. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I think we're good now. I think we're good now. What are you saying? Is it good? I got you, Dane. I got you, man. I got you. You know, I'm a very simple producer, man. I ain't, you know, they be adding, you know, SIGNUP got all the chords and all this stuff like that, and you know, M16, he can chop up some samples and do his stuff on there too. You know, I'm a very simple producer, but I got some stuff though. I got some stuff. So just go ahead and send me that link over, and I get it done, because I'll forget, because like I gotta go get my kids for football practice, and next night I'll be at football practice, you know, and a father at football practice, that's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? And I'll forget, get home, and it'll be over with me. Yeah, the hip, you know, right now, the MPC is good so far. It's like on a technical thing. If you know how to use it, like the way I know how to use it, the way I use it, like the MPC is this. Aside from converters and all this stuff, right? Aside from all of that, the MP is made for people who just play sounds. It's not for people who build sounds, in a sense, okay? Like if you want to build a sound inside of the keyboard and you want to add the filters and add this and add that, cool. That's stage one. Stage two is when you playing inside the MP, you're going to have to play it. You can go through and you can, you know, hit a couple notes, but taking the sound, playing it in the MP, and then adding a whole bunch of effects, you can do that once you have it inside of the MP. Or if you're using the internal sounds in there, you can do that. But not like how you can take the FL and then you can play a sound, then reverse it, then bounce it down, then add this and then do that, and just do the sound design while you're making beats. It's almost best with the MP to do your sound design first and then play the stuff out. That's what it's for. That's why a lot of stuff like you hear with Zaytoven, you hear if it's a piano, it's a piano. If it's an organ, it's an organ. If it's a string, it's a string. It's not a piano mixed with 4 or 5 different effects, reversed and this, that, whatever, or a piano with this and that. No, it's just what it is. That's what the MP is good for. And if you know how to play good chords, or if you know how to go on your other keyboards while it's hooked up and finagle the sound a little bit and do some stuff, that's what it is for. And that's what gives it that sound. That's the great part about using the MP, is because, first of all, you know, it just has that natural swing to it, number one. And then it just controls all of your other gears so much better than everything else right now. Now, I did hear about the DigiCat, how it can control gear, but it's still not an MPC. You know what I'm saying? It's still not an MPC, but it could be there. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have seen some stuff with the 404, with the sound design and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I have seen that. Have I done it before? No. But I have seen a ton of people making beats on them 404s with the MP, and they've been doing some really nice stuff on there. So you can do it. It's just going to be an extra step because, you know, you're hooking up gear and stuff like that. It's going to definitely be an extra step. But, you know, times are changing. They're adding so much stuff into these new MPCs. There's going to be new products coming out. So it's going to be better. Over time, it will be better. You know what I'm saying? It will be better. If you know how to use the MPC, it will be your best friend. Because regardless if you have all these sounds and all this, you know, reverse sound and adding the filters and the delays, and then you know, you can use you know, all these different tools to get the sound to sound watery and underwater, and you make it have this different effect. Because right now people are not really making sounds, they're making effects and putting beats over them, which is cool because it sounds good. I like what a lot of these young guys are doing. They're making beats like video games. They're figuring out the board. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I know how to go inside of like my Jupiter X and stuff like that and make sounds to where all I gotta do is press one button and it's like bam. You know what I'm saying? But do you hear a difference immediately when I play a sound with 3 sounds in it? That's just regular sounds, and I put my bass and stuff and I play it in the studio. I don't even have to mix this stuff. I can just turn it up and it sounds good even when I route it through. I can just turn it up loud. I don't have to even do much. And then bam, it's like, yo, what did you use? I use the same stuff everybody else used. No, it sounds different. It's just because it came from that MP, and that MP just takes sound and just does something to it. It takes that sound and it does something to it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the MPC does. It takes sound and it does something to it. It adds that saturation. It adds that MPC sound to it. You know what I'm saying? Would you say the Air Flavor Pro can give you that analog sound? Everybody's like trying to get that analog sound. I think will it give you the best sound? Because when analog was out, it's just the analog sound. It's just the best sound. You just want to get the best sound. Everybody's saying analog, and some people can't even tell you the difference. Like if I played you an analog sound right now, and then I played you some stuff from today, you really wouldn't know the difference. Like right now, put it like this. Everything that Master P did was on analog pretty much. All the way up until about 2000. Everything that Master P and them did was on analog. Was it the best sound ever? Hell no. Some of them Master P records. Go back and listen to some of that old 8-ball and MJG from back in the day. Was it the best sound? Hell no. Now it was analog. Some of these old records from back in the day that wasn't mixed by the best mixing engineers. Were they the best sound? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? No. You just want to achieve the best sound as possible. You know what I'm saying? You want to achieve the best sound as possible. Yeah, Black Lion converters are dope. I had a Black Lion mod a long time ago on my Digio 3. They did a great job on it. Sounded very good. I still sold it though for my UAD stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ghetto Dope was crispy. It was very crispy, but the sound was not great. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? And it's because they were putting so much stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Putting so much stuff out. And it's nothing to, my guy who used to produce all the stuff. Shit. Oh my God, I can't believe. KLC. Shout out to the big homie KLC. Yeah, Ab, we back on this. We just having a conversation. It's nothing too deep today. It's nothing too deep today. Nothing too deep. But Abe, I keep saying Abe, whatever. Abe, same thing. But it's not that deep today. It's just that people keep asking me the same things, and it's just like, hey, either way, good converters, you got to be a good mixing engineer. If you don't have the converters, you still got to be a good mixing engineer. But if you do have good converters, it'll make your job a lot easier. Yeah, KLC. Nothing against KLC, you know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, they were pumping out so many records. Beats by the pound, they were pumping out so many records. They were just like, man, just get this shit done. P, like, you got an album coming out next month? We're going to put it out just like that. But it goes to show that even though it wasn't the best mixes, it was just like the content was there. It's the content that you wanted. And that Ghetto Dope did go hard, though. That Ghetto Dope hard. But you listen to it now versus then, because like a lot of us were just consumers back then. A lot of these consumers can't hear the difference between a lot of this stuff. They can't hear the difference. They don't know. They don't know that snare is out of, it's out of key, or that bass is out of key, or you should probably EQ this a little bit better. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. But, at the end of the day, you were just consumers. Like when I was listening to it, I did kind of hear like, man, this song seemed kind of lower than the other one, but it was nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But now when I hear it now, it's like, oh, come on now, P, you could have did. But I understood what was going on. P understood that a lot of the people weren't going to notice the difference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like the Notorious, but you got to understand, they was getting some of the best mixing engineers with Big and Tupac and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They were getting some of the really good engineers to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, consumers don't care. Like I tell people a lot of times, like when they're in the studio with me, they're like, oh, that ad lib right there. The ad lib, I think it just could be a little bit, if we could just do this and tuck that. And a lot of times I got to tell these artists, man, ain't nobody going to be listening to this song except for other engineers who don't matter, who ain't going to listen to it anyway. No, none of the consumers of your song are going to sit there and be like, you know what? He should have cut out. He should have cut out all the way to 400 hertz on that ad lib. You know what I'm saying? Like, it said "See Murder, Life or Death" album sound like they were underwater. Yeah, it was a great album though. But like I tell people, nobody's gonna notice that. Even my biggest record on Watch Me, if you really listen to it, there's actually some mess ups that I left inside of my mix, the mix I have on iTunes on Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nene. It's a few things I did leave in there that I was kind of rushing through because that was a mix I put out that night. But if you carefully listen to it, you will hear some stuff in there. I'm not going to say what it is, but you'll hear it. And that's from my mix. You know what I'm saying? But on Jason Joshua mix, I think he cleaned it up very well. Very, very well. But on my mix, you can hear some stuff like it's like a little part where he kind of like talked a little bit, but you could barely hear it. It's like a few mistakes, but nobody hears it. Nobody hears it. It's a lot of stuff you don't hear, like Big, like Biggie Smalls. What's the sun don't shine forever? It's like people are like talking all through the verse. Like you don't notice all that stuff. Like on Case's record, he's telling people in the studio, my voice is about to go. I can't sing it anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff people can't tell even in the songs, and it's a lot of stuff people can't hear sonically. Like there's a guy right now who's a big music exec that I deal with. He's dealt with everybody from Static Major all the way up to Brandy to Ray J. He puts guys out all the time. He's a big staple in music, and he's one of my guys. And right now, he'll tell you straight up, man, I don't know what, if it sound good, it sound good. Like, I don't know about all that frequencies and all that stuff like that. He'll tell you. And he's done huge records and cannot distinguish a huge record from a different record, like a regular record that's recorded. He can't distinguish that. It's only us. But we still have to have a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? We still have to have a certain standard. Like if you take those old acapellas and you hear, like especially when the gate used to go off on those things, man, it used to be crazy. My girl calling. So my baby calling. Hold on, y'all. We do this every time. Hold on. Hey, baby. Hey, what you doing? I'm on live right now. Took a little break. How's work going? Well, you on live right now. She said, hey, everybody. All right. All right. Brings a smile to my face every time. It feels good to be loved. Hey, you got to make the woman happy. Y'all know this. Don't y'all start that. Hey, man, don't y'all start that. Yes. I ain't scared to show my love for my baby. Yeah, she got to check in, make sure I'm good. But what was I saying? But like it's so much stuff, man, that people can't hear. It's just us, but we still have to, you know what I'm saying? We still have to give the best quality that we can. You know what I'm saying? We still have to give the best quality that we can. And we want to be able to have stuff sound good. Because stuff that sounds good, we tend to listen to it longer. You know, if stuff sounds good, we tend to listen to that longer. Who's the best hip hop engineer? It's so many right now. There's some young ones that are real good too. But like I said, a lot of the old guys are still like hands down, like a lot better. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the old guys are still a lot better. They just have that. They just have years of experience. You know what I'm saying? And then the good thing about it is music is until like death. Like it's no retirement. Like if you can still hear as a good engineer and you can just still move your hands and press some knobs, like you're good. You know what I'm saying? Like you're still good. And I think everybody has their good days and bad days. Even the best engineers had their bad days. I've seen Honorable SIGNUP go through like 5 really good engineers. And it's like, man, the mix still doesn't sound the way I need to sound. And I'm like, I'll do it. He'd be like, go ahead. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if we try to make the best music as possible, I think we'll get more longevity back with this. And I think we can kind of weed out what's kind of going on. The kids are going to be the kids. They're going to do the best they can. You know, they're going to do what they want to do. But so far as like having timeless music, it has to be the quality, and it has to be the quality in the music. I'm not necessarily saying the mixes and stuff, because some are the biggest songs ever in music were recorded on the cheapest gear over at Motown, and we still listen to it every single day. So it has to be quality music first. But now that we have this gear right now to where we can make the stuff that we make now, I think that we can really make a change to even change people's way of hearing. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it should be. I think we should change the narrative, even with home studios and everything. We should try to do the best we can. Like I sit up here and I try to do as best as I can. I'm not the best mixer engineer by all means. I'm not the best engineer, which I am a pretty damn good engineer now. A lot of people, they're like, dang, Bolo, we didn't know you were that good. I'm like, yeah, I engineered first. Okay. But I'm not the best engineer in the world. Do I know every single shortcut and everything? Nah, I don't know everything, but I know pretty much it all, and I know if it sounds good. That's one thing I've learned from some of the top producers and engineers, to where I know when stuff sounds good, especially doing R&B and stuff like that. When people come up with ideas, I'm like, hey, you're a little flat right there, hit it up a little right here. I try to hum it back to them and do things. You guys have heard some of the stuff I've done, even when I do these mic tests, which I have another mic test with the Lewitt mic coming up very soon. That mic with the tube mic, we finna do a test with that with one of my homegirls. She's finna come in and do a dope record with that, so y'all need to check that out. But yeah, like I think that quality does make us want to listen to stuff better, because it just sounds better. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody who has like a cool voice, and you just hear him talking, like, dang, I can just hear this person talk all day. Like, if you like to hear a documentary. You know what I'm saying? Like if you hear a documentary, especially with the guy with the English voice, like like those wildlife documentaries, you get the guy with the English voice. He's like, yeah, the leopard eyes for his prey. And when he sees his prey, he stalks his prey. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I can listen to that man's voice the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I mean? It's just one of those, hold up. Nah, that should be, I just corrected that. It should be updated. It should be updated. Okay? It should be updated. I'm going to check it real quick. Let me make sure. I messed up on that, y'all. But it should be updated with those links in there. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me see. Hold on.
This is like, it's kind of crazy, man, honestly. Like, I can literally just pick up.
I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. Okay, the Zounds link works. And the analog cases link, that works too. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, those are, they work. Oh yeah, like Morgan Freeman. Oh, and yeah, the first 48 dude. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that first 48 dude. Yeah, that's a spooky voice right there. But yeah, all the links work. All the links in the description work. So if you guys want to go ahead and get some links or whatever, y'all can go ahead and get those support my affiliate links. I've never heard the Pornhub song. I've never heard of that song ever. What is that? Yeah, I definitely do a speaker test, like I do a car test every time. You know what I'm saying? And like when I do my car test, everything in my cars, all my cars, I don't turn up the treble, I don't turn up the mids, I don't turn up the bass. I keep everything at 0. And then I know what my cars sound like. Like my truck, my S10, my Silverado, that thing got that bass in that thing, boy. It's much different. I got a Telluride too. And then I got Challenger too. And they all sound different. You know what I'm saying? They all sound different. Hey, man, Pastor Bolo don't know nothing about that Pornhub now. I don't know, JJ Biggs. Yeah, it's a lot of people who have really good voices that, you can listen to, and just the quality of their voices and how they put everything together is cool. Yeah, them Tellurides are smooth. Only thing is they're kids, so that sometimes they have little stuff. You got to watch out for them kid Tellurides. It'll be like a little hose, like an $8 hose underneath, and it'll be leaking like after 10,000 miles. It's crazy. But you fix that one thing, everything else is smooth. I love my Telluride. I've had it since 2019. I had my 2020 model since 2019. I've maybe had like an oil pan leak, and I had like a small hose leak. My homeboy fixed that for me the other day. No issues. I think I only changed the brakes on it one time. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Love my Telluride. Love it. Love it. I love my little fake Range Rover / Bentley. It's like a mixture of everything in the Telluride, but that thing rides so smooth. I take it back and forth to Florida, no problems. I changed the tires on it one time, changed the brakes on it one time, never had any issues. Yeah. Yes. But y'all, I got to go ahead and get out of here. It was great being on here with y'all. Another thing is, all you guys who like to mix in your headphones, that's cool. But try to mix on your speakers. That's just me personally. I've never really gotten a really good mix out of headphones. And if I did, what I do is I would mix in my speakers first, and then I would go into my headphones and see how it translates from the speakers to the headphones, so I can kind of see, okay, that's how it sounds on the speakers to the headphones. Then I'll do it. But I've never really got a really good mix out of I never really got one like that. Do you think kick drums are dead? No. A lot of my beats I'm using now, I'm using kick drums. I'm just using regular basses. I don't even use like, I use 808 still, like I'm doing an MP and stuff like that. But a lot of times I just do my kicks and just put 808s on top of. Not 808s. I do put 808s on top of it, but I like to use regular sine basses, or I make my own basses inside my Jupiter and use that. Like, I think that regular basses are coming back, and I think kicks are coming back as well. But going back to headphone thing, I think you can listen to details. I like details. Like these headphones right here are very expensive headphones. These headphones are like $400 I got on right now. Great for listening for details and how things are positioned. But so far as like listening, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of my favorite mixing speakers are my club speakers I got in my studio. Because a lot of the stuff that I want to be played is going to be played in the club, and I want to hear how it sounds in the club. So I got club speakers in my studio, and I get some phenomenal mixes on those club speakers. You know, they're very bright, they're very just clubby, and I get some great mixes on those. And then I have some regular speakers in there that I mix as well. You know what I'm saying? I got the which ones I have in there? Not the JBLs, but I got the other ones that the people from JBL made. I got those in there, and they sound great. So just got to know your speaker too. Know your speakers. And if some of you guys got headphones, if you're going to mix on headphones, I recommend getting open back headphones so the bass won't be, the bass. That's the big thing with the headphones is the bass. That's why I say get open back headphone speakers. And I got the Bear Dynamics. I got all that stuff as well too. You know what I'm saying? What are these? These are the what are these? Yeah, these are the Austrian Audio HI-X65s. Things are dope. Very dope. I want to do videos on headphones. I got those. I got the IE headphones, which are very dope too. It's just as hard to do a video on something you guys can't hear. All you can say is, hey, they sound great. And you're talking for 7 minutes on, hey, they sound great. They just sound good. They sound good. The IE headphones sound great. They actually have a receiver that you can use Bluetooth without any like delay or latency on it. They sound really good. They're like $350. These are like $4 something, but these things sound incredible. I ain't gonna lie to you. They sound very good. A lot of the Sennheiser stuff sounds good. The Audio Technica sound good. Even the cheap ones sound good. Like it's a lot of good stuff. But yeah, let me go ahead and get on out of here, man. Got to get the kids ready for football practice. I appreciate everybody coming on here. Live beat review will be Wednesday night at 9 p.m. or 9:30. It's going to be somewhere between there. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. Sign up will be on Friday, again, as usual. But it's good to be on here with you guys. And do you recommend a subwoofer with your Studio KRK8s? Yeah, get a subwoofer. Always get a subwoofer just to kind of hear the bass later on. But you got to sit back in the room so you can hear that sub. It's all depending on how big your room is. If your room is small, you don't need a sub. Like even in my room right here, I really don't need a sub, but I get one either way. But yeah, I'll be on here a little bit more. And make sure you guys support my other videos if you can. Just go there, watch it. Watch it for a minute or two if you can. You know what I'm saying? Let's get these viewerships up. It'll help me out. And make sure, guys, if you guys need some equipment, go ahead and hit my Zounds.com link up. It should be corrected. If not, it'll be corrected after the video, or go to one of my other videos. If you need some cases, go to Analog Cases. Click my links in the description and check out all the stuff that I got down. All right? So hope everybody down in Florida, y'all be safe. I'm from Florida. I know how it is. We used to have hurricane parties and stuff like that, but y'all stay safe down there. If you're in Florida, I know how it is because I'm a Florida boy. I'm praying for y'all. Hope that it doesn't cause any major damage or anything. I hope it just misses Florida, period. But we know how that goes. And everybody that's on the Gulf side over there, New Orleans, Houston, Panama City, Tallahassee, all that stuff, just y'all be safe, man, because you know how these storms are. I've been through it. I understand it. I'm praying for y'all and for safety, okay? And I'm praying for all of y'all out there as well. So y'all stay cool out here. Y'all stay safe, stay protected. And, just know that somebody's out here praying for you, and I am. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what religion or whatever it is, I'm still praying for you, all right? That's Bishop Bolo for you. But thank you guys for coming on, and I will see you guys very soon, all right? Peace out.